Hello, and welcome to this demonstration of Mosaic Analyzer. Today we're going to take you through a retail banking portfolio where we have attributes such as customer ID, country, city, branch, account type, the product, account ID, currency, amount, the US dollar equivalent, start date and end date of any loans, and whether it's a credit or debit. There are just over 3,500 records across 14 attributes, so just over 49,000 data points. Mosaic has three views: wide, compressed, and overview. Wide mode displays all the information in a data grid, spread over many pages and very difficult to analyze. What we do is we run a data compression algorithm under that, so that all the similarities are compressed into single files. And then we put those files into cells of information, which, as you can see now, are fully malleable, and you can drill in and out of the data very quickly, and the whole screen morphs to accommodate your selection until you get a single customer view as we have now. We can also input some calculations to further our analysis. Right now I'm going to do some very simple calculations and then go to some more complex ones later on in the video. The first thing you want to do now is determine how many customers we have in this portfolio. So I'm going to do a very quick count of customer ID. Calculations can be done in two ways in Mosaic, either through the Summary tab, as you've just seen, or the Formula tab. The Formula tab allows you to do any bespoke calculation over any number of attributes you choose. There are also a number of predefined calculations, and it's quite a comprehensive list. As I said, now we're going to look at the Summary tab and do the count of customer ID. There you go. So there are 1,930 customers in our portfolio. Now where you see the FX in the left-hand corner, this means that the calculations are dynamic and they will change as you make your selections. As you can see now it's 647, now it's 263 based on our selections. And now I'm going to do a calculation where I'll show you the summary of two attributes. So here are all our products, and we want to know the percentage share of people who use our products and which products they use. So here we are. I can do the percentage sum of customers per product. There we go. So now, for example, I know that 10.55 of our customer base have auto insurance, and I can put these in any order I want and then create a chart. So there you've seen a column chart created very quickly and easily at the click of a button, which now displays all your products and the percentage of customers that use them. Again, we can now define another attribute and say I want to know what the US dollar equivalent of all our income is per product. And there we go. Now I can also format these numbers to make them easier on the eye. And there we go. Again, this can now all be graphed. I'm going to put it into ascending order. Go back into overview mode and create graph. And there we have it. Now these graphs are also very dynamic, and what I mean by that is as I drill into another level of the Interscape, so for example I'll click on Lebanon, I can now, without having to redraw the graph, simply update it based on the level of information that I'm in. There you go. So now we're just looking at product in Lebanon. What we're going to do now is look at creating a cross table or an analysis group. What we want to see here is the sum of our US dollar equivalent by product, cross-referenced by country. And what we need to make sure to do here is to say interpret all missing values as 0, because there are some countries that might not sell certain products. So there we have it. We have countries on the left-hand side and products across the top. We can now chart this and see the comparison of products. Now in this case, only personal loans are available in Lebanon and Syria. So if we go into personal loans, drill in, we can now redraw the graph to compare personal loans on a like-for-like basis. Now I'm going to use this as a basis for creating a dashboard, which is very simple in Mosaic. Any graph or visualizer can be dragged around the screen and placed wherever the user wants it. There is also no limit to however many visualizers the user would like to use. As you can see now, I'm just drilling into some other products and creating another visualizer. As we can see, that graph wasn't too useful, so no problem. We can just get rid of it and create another one. That's the beauty about Mosaic, is that you can test a number of hypotheses. If it doesn't work out the first time, you've lost yourselves 10 seconds and you can go and look at something else. Here I'll do now the products and then the percentage of use. Just drag that down there and that'll provide me with some more information. We'll now just create two more graphs so that we have a whole screen and we have a true dashboard. Now I'm just going to find out the percentage share sum of our customers per country and use that as a graph. I can also use any number of graphs such as column, line, pie, bar charts, area, scatter, donut, bubble, pyramids, funnels or polar. And also Mosaic can fit into any graphic package that you might prefer to use. For example, if you use heat maps, we can fit anything in. There you go. So here's our dashboard, which I've just created for you. And as you can see in the top left hand corner, the Infoscape sits behind one of the graphs. What I'm going to do now is take out some of the attributes. So we're going to choose country and product and show you another way of powering the graphs without having to work on the Infoscape. So let me just choose product out of here as well. There we go. And these can be placed anywhere on the screen or outside of the screen. For example, if you work off two screens, this could be outside of the Mosaic environment. So let me choose Lebanon and then I click zoom in. As you can see, all the products have now changed to reflect the 5 products that Lebanon offers. I can now start powering all the graphs. So if I go back to home, I can refresh this using the Infoscape. So now we have all the products that are relevant to Lebanon and the information underneath them. As you can see now, this is redrawn just to show Lebanon. Now what I'm going to do is use a graph to power the Infoscape. So keep an eye on the Infoscape. There we go. Because I've used a graph that was at the highest level, and I've reflected the graph back in the Infoscape has now shown us the top level. What I'll do now is I'll delete a few of these graphs and show you how easy it is for Mosaic to be integrated across a business or an organization. So let me just move these graphs out of the way. And then what we can do is create a selected record. So I'm going to drill into Lebanon and Syria. I'm going to choose several attributes. And I'm going to want to send these to a colleague of mine who takes care of Lebanon and Syria. So what I do is I save this as a selected record and I'll call it Leb Syria. Save it. And now I get asked a few questions. So for future updating, do I want to refer to original data source? I say no. Do I wish to include the visualizers? Yes. This is telling me that I haven't chosen all the attributes. That's okay. And now I want to see it in a new Infoscape window. So yes. So as you can see on the right hand side now, I'll just get rid of the old Infoscape. We have created an Infoscape showing only the Lebanese and Syrian transactions. As you can see by the bar chart, there's only Syria and Lebanon. If I go into overview mode now, once I stack those, if I go into overview mode, I can see Lebanon and Syria. So all the information I'm holding is purely on Lebanon and Syria and nothing else. So if I drill into a number of branches, I can again redraw the graph based on that selection. You do not lose any of the functionality just because you are using a slice of the data. All the functionality is there, it's just that the slice you're looking at is smaller. Also, the source of this data now, it is the previous Infoscape. So as that Infoscape changes, so will your data update. What I'm doing now is prioritizing the data using simple color coding. So what I'm saying here is that if there's any value under 8%, I want to know. Anything above 10, I want it to be green. Which is saying, look at the products which we have the least amount of sales power in, and try and focus on those to increase those numbers. It's just a way of prioritizing and highlighting certain areas of the Infoscape. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this short presentation of Mosaic, just to get an idea of what Mosaic can do in about 10 minutes. Thank you very much for your time, and please don't hesitate to contact us.